This is the RV Game Changer. In this podcast, we will speak with manufacturing leaders, component suppliers, dealers, subsector innovators, influencers, and industry experts who all believe RVing is good for our environment, it's good for our economy, it's great for our family values and overall well-being. With your help, we can improve the RV experience for everyone. Today on RV Game Changer, we have the pleasure of speaking with a truly inspired man, a true RV game changer. When I met him almost a couple of years ago, he blew me away with all his energy and determination to be the best at what he does. He doesn't try to be perfect. No one should. But what he does do is show up every single day and gives 100% of what he's capable to ensure that Heartland RV's employees, their stakeholders, and their customers get represented by true diligence, honesty, and compassion. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I represent to you the very first Game Changer podcast, weighing in at 247 pounds, 6'4", 4¼ hailing from Elkhart, Indiana, William J. Miller the third. All right. Hey, we got Willie Miller on the show today, and Bill, time to bring him up.
Hey!
Hold on, buddy.
What an honor. The RV Game Changer, and I'm the first guest. Woot, woot!
Woo, woo! Just like the nature boy. Woo!
That's right.
All right, man. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining the show. And, it's my pleasure and honor to have you on the very first episode. It's just a wonderful experience. And we want to share information from people like you, people that give back to the industry. It's not just about the job. It's about what, like you say, what you can do for others. And, when you give, it comes back to you. So tell us a little bit more about your background.
Came in the national brand manager. So why don't I give you a little context? 1981 was the year I was born. Just kidding. We're going to move forward.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Unfortunately, 42. So 3 years in this industry. One of the things that has been wonderful on my journey, and we're all influenced by life's experiences, mentors, people that come into our lives, good leadership, bad leadership. We're always learning, right? Or emulating from people we follow. I had an amazing opportunity for over a decade to travel the world from Tokyo, Japan to Israel and just about everywhere in between, working for one of the highest precision automation and robotic companies in the world, in my biased opinion. The company is called Kogane. My boss, I reported to our president, Mr. Kenji Kuro, or Kuroshacho, as they say in Japanese. So imagine a decade of learning by the best leader of deploying empathy, the best leader through actions, and the best leader in terms of just leading with consistency. So, it gave me a great foundation.
Yep.
Coming into the RV industry, a lot of people said, hey, this is different. It's not Tokyo, Japan. It's not, Petah Tikva, Israel. No, it's not. But we're still a manufacturer of a product. Mm-hmm. It goes through the same channel to market of my over a decade of experience internationally. So what's really different? It really comes down to people want to buy where they see value, and your dealer partners want to work with people that remove the friction and that are easy to work with. So though I may not know every single RV manufacturing brand that's here, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the entire industry uses about 85% of the same supply chain. So if you're not going to differentiate yourself too much outside of unique floor plans, some innovations, if you're lucky to negotiate exclusivity for a 10-month window and then everybody else has it, then you really focus on how you can drive value. And for me, people are making a big investment. And a dealer's obligation, in my opinion, is to give people the best buying experience possible. But if a manufacturer makes more things their responsibility, like the ownership experience, the reciprocity, doing more for dealers than maybe other representatives have done, there's an opportunity to get noticed. I
Well,
always
you're
say,
answering all the questions that I'm having here.
oh,
So
sorry, I'm going a little fast.
no, that's okay. I love it, because what you're saying is that, if the manufacturer takes on a little more responsibility with the customer part of the program, we can do what we do better for them, right? We can spend more of our energy, focusing on giving them a good buying experience, and the manufacturer can help us a lot more with the what happens after, when something occurs, some things do occur. How
Right.
to good communication. Tell us a little bit about how you helped implement this app with Heartland was a year and a half ago or whatever, that really opened the doors and was kind of a big game changer in the industry.
Yeah, so obviously I want to give credit to our team, Mr. Jim Fenner, who's one of our vice presidents, really spearheaded that transparency thing that we talk about. So Heartland RV, it's public, it's out there, you can look it up. They were one of the first to release a owner's app. So what the
Okay.
owner's app did, a lot of people, as you know, post-sale, there's service work that needs to get done. So people always want to just be in the know. Hey, when are parts going to be here? When do we make our trek back to the dealership to pick up our unit after a repair? What the Heartland Owners app does that I think is so great is it provides that kind of transparency. So
Wow.
if somebody buys a coach on your lot or any given lot in North America, that's an authorized Heartland dealer, Heartland Cruiser or DRV, by the way, they can download the app. It's free to them. They register their VIN number and they can track all of their service work. They can get
Wow.
updates on, hey, parts have been delivered, so you can contact the dealership and work out with their scheduling. And it's just giving people a lot more transparency. Also, the app provides a lot of information that every manufacturer works to provide, right? I always laugh. I hear about all the cliches and the fancy slogans of, hey, we want to give people the best ownership experience. Well, doesn't every business that goes into business, they want everybody to have a good experience? But by utilizing technology, trying new things, we just had a piece of technology that allowed people another way, just like there's different types of medium, right? You can, write, you can do video, you can communicate on a podcast like we have here today. So just, consistently evolving to get the communication and information that owners want and provide the transparency that dealers want to give everybody a great shared both ownership and buying experience.
Great. So can you dial that down just a little bit? Because what I'm hearing is that, the parts get ordered and now the customer, using their VIN number, can track those parts. Now, who's ordering the parts, and is the dealership getting informed that, hey, your parts are arriving, it's time to get this scheduled to get the work done?
Yeah, I mean, again, 100%. So there's no confusion, and because this is probably going to have a following as big as Joe Rogan, I want to make sure that we are specific and clear. Heartland has never ever considered going rogue or doing things not in line with the dealership.
Okay.
But all the app provides, and anybody can look it up on their own freedom. It's on the App Store and Google Play. All it does is just say, hey, we're communicating with the dealership that this information has gotten here. And then simultaneously, we'll upload that information as well so they can see kind of the transactional updates. They're not saying the communication or us, contacting a service department saying, hey,
But it's right there in the palm of their hand, though. The customer has it in the palm of their hand. Oh, that's been delivered to the dealership. And so they can take it upon themselves to keep an eye on that for sure.
Yeah, and I just think, like I said, it's a balance. It's no secret. Any, trade industry, they've already well documented post-COVID, right? There's a lot of units we produce, which also means there was a lot of sales, world record sales for the history of the industry, right? As we already know.
Oh, yeah.
But what happens after the sale? It's kind of like after the marriage. Well, then you've got the relationship. So
yeah, you got to live together for a while.
Correct. So with ownership, there's service. A lot of our dealers, unfortunately, they're overwhelmed. And so to provide a resource that not only is helping our shared customer, but our dealership, they've seen a lot of value in it. Additional resources in the app. We've started making how-to videos, explanations on maintenance. I try to work very, very hard to not take credit and say, unlike the others or unlike the competition, I'm transparent to say, hey, you guys know more, right? You see it on every other manufacturer. Well, I'm going to interview them and give you transparency and access so you can ask them questions about their components, or Lippert, or Airxcel, or Dometic, or the list goes on.
I love that, because what's happening is that you're letting the customer know that you can communicate directly with these component manufacturers. It's okay. They have customer service and they'll help you. They'll walk you through it, whether it be a Furrion hot water heater or a Suburban furnace or whatever it may be. These companies will answer your questions. But what you're doing is kind of like pulling back the curtain a little bit and saying, it's okay. It's okay to reach out to these people.
And I think, Bernie, it's just human nature where no matter the industry, no matter the product, people don't know what they don't know until they know. What really sparked my excitement to really, start putting out so much content at scale about just transparency of the supply chain, the bill of materials. We didn't make it. We assembled it, or we spec'd it, and we put it in the coach. So who better to give you some technical assistance than Lippert or, some of the other aforementioned suppliers? They have those resources. But a customer came up to me in Texas, and I said, you can contact our customer service, 877-262-8032. Well, I don't have any problems. Well, attention everyone. Every single RV manufacturer has a customer service support team that you can call, and I will speak on behalf of the RV industry. They would love for you to call with a proactive question as opposed to us having to react because something was done maybe in violation of warranty that you weren't aware of.
Right. Yeah. I need to do some maintenance on this camper. What are some of the products I should use when I'm touching up the silicone sealants on the roof or whatever it may be? Be proactive, reach out and find out the right answer. And you're not going to always find the perfect answer on YouTube. They give you some good ideas, some suggestions, but make sure you reach out to that manufacturer, because they may be using a component or a material that requires different than the one that you saw on that YouTube channel, for sure.
And every dealership I talk to, they say, we want OEMs to step up and provide more resources, because then that allows us to, we carry that brand. So when people start knowing or say, hey, in the land of 1,000 black ants, this one's yellow, this one's different. Well, that's value to the dealer, because now instead of us always getting on camera and doing the old right hook, as I call it, and saying, hey, check out our front cap, isn't it better than everybody else's? No, I think a better approach is building trust by providing transparency and information. And if one given manufacturer that a said dealer represents, everybody starts going to them because they provide more resources and value, well, that's going to help the dealership as well. So like I said, it's fun to do things where it makes people smile. And then when it gets validated by dealers to, hey, Will, you're loud and bold, keep going. Well, then it starts to get really exciting.
That's fantastic. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you do day to day. And this is where I get inspired. I'm following you on LinkedIn, and here you are posting these lovely things. And we have Bill Sell helping us in production today. And Bill, can you bring up the first slogan? Oh, that's actually the picture of that I first used in the first podcast that we worked together. But this slogan, more leading and doing instead of monitoring and managing. So, this is just something when you're talking to the management of whether it be a manufacturing facility, a component builder, or a dealership, leadership is really important. So, Willie, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on leadership and why is it, maybe misrepresented at certain times, and how can we do a better job?
Well, I don't ever want to take anything away from, timing or things like that. I think everywhere, whether it's sports, business, whatever, There's people that really excel, and then there's people that have an opportunity to improve.
Right.
When it comes to business, what is management and what is leadership? Simon Sinek, Seth Godin, there's brilliant minds that have already, communicated all this information. So I don't want to take anything away from them. But, the consistency that I learned from my previous career, I had a leader that every day would say, hey, I'm going to go and do X for our dealer and customer, and I'd like to invite you to join me.
Yep.
Now, that's much different than management that maybe doesn't participate but delegates. So I just am a firm believer of, you can always do more.
Right.
The end. So if you can do more, what things additionally can you do to maybe help your coworkers, help dealers, inspire others to do more and raise the expectation? So one of my goals then is, as I came in, national brand manager, made up title. I mean, I've never done a single transaction. I've never done an order. I've never done anything on the sales, even though I was a director of sales for 15 years. But all of the other things, there's a lot of opportunity. I've been able to demonstrate with a very, very small brain and a lot of energy. And
you got a lot of muscle, though, Willie. Don't knock yourself down. Yeah.
And a lot of authenticity.
Right.
That, hey, I'm not saying we are better than anybody else. But what I personally try to do is I try to do more things than one individual does within this industry. So I've been with support of our organization. I've been allowed to provide trainings to many big dealerships throughout North America, to their entire sales team. I've been able to do product walkthrough videos. I've been able to do a podcast. I've been able to, communicate my thoughts from my experience at scale with support. So, to be in I joke, a made up position that really doesn't contribute much in regard to sales, but yet be able to influence through the actions that I'm taking, well, then I hope it inspires other people. I think about our sales folks. I try to always have empathy and understand, hey, what do you guys do in a given week? Well, we go on the road. Okay. And then you meet with a dealer. So what happens? Well, I'll come in and I'll bring donuts and I'll say, hey, grab your pen and paper and we're going to do a walkthrough training. Okay. And then what do you do after that? Well, then I'll go and talk to the GM and maybe try to get a couple orders or manage the inventory. Okay. And then what do you do after that? Well, then I leave. So then there's the opportunity where I'm always never content. I would say, okay, if I were to go to a given dealership, what if I did all of those things and then said, you know what? The sales staff here, maybe not. I would bet that they would like to get leads. I would bet that they would like retail customers to line up and ask for products. What's one thing that I could do at no cost to the company since I'm here that could be some reciprocity or appreciation to the dealer? How about this? We have 5 floor plans here in stock outside. I can get one of the employees, if they're willing, to hold my camera, and I'm going to do a live walkthrough video of every unit here, because I tell dealers, no matter where your location is and the traffic count every day, when you're driving by at 55 miles an hour, you don't know the inventory that's there. So going back to what I said in the intro, people don't know what they don't know until they know. So if you have more people from the OEM side willing to do these walkthrough videos, which is content that dealers can repurpose at scale on social media at zero cost to the dealership, and then in addition to that, it generates maybe 1 or 2 leads at zero cost, what a win. So those are those being curious like a cat of what else you can do for the industry, for the dealer channel to market, for end consumers. That's what motivates me every single day.
Well, tell us about how your job has evolved now.
So a few months ago, we had a leadership change. Ryan Jude was the president of Heartland. He's now the president of KZ. Kyle Kwasny, who was formerly the president of Dutchman, is now the president of Heartland RV.
Oh, wow.
And so from me doing that national brand manager role, I had not had any experience working with service parts, warranty, fixed ops, rec time. These are all acronyms and words that I didn't know. So I think that they saw value in my ability to be a megaphone, talk a lot, promote. I could at least, because again, people don't know what they don't know, I could share information from this side of the business that's very, very important to dealerships as well as customers. Customers don't want repairs, and when they do, they want it done as quickly as possible and with no issues. So there's obviously value to being over here and learning the ownership side of business and warranty and fixes, repairs, etc. And then to our dealers, there's a big cost in service. So the more support that we can give to dealers at scale, well, that's again going to be a benefit. So I was given another title, Director of Dealer Relations. I don't say this out of context or disrespect, but again, what's a title? To me, it's about what you do, not what your sign says. So I just took that idea of information, communication, and transparency, and I'm trying to accelerate that to a level where now it's more proactive than reactive.
Through all the different departments of the dealerships. And it seems like you're also into communicating with a lot of the manufacturing back at Heartland home base in Elkhart, right? So you're talking to those folks. And, Willie, I couldn't have dreamed up a better person to show up on my first night doing this podcast as you, the best RV game changer I know. Like, you're out there every day working it. We have a couple of short videos here. And Bill, can you put up that one that says communicate, how to communicate?
People are embracing how technology works, doing the research in the comfort of their home before they are going out to a dealership. And so now we're seeing a lot of dealerships are starting to look to, hey, what technologies are out there that we can leverage to provide more information about a said RV manufacturer, like Heartland RV maybe, or
That's a sweet, short and sweet one. But yeah, you're all about this every single day. I love it, and you're not afraid to make fun of yourself here either. So let me show a little bit of something here.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this guy on the internet, then you need a pulse. You're with two great people in the RV industry tonight, so I'm going to really see how you handle this.
So here's what I do every time I'm on the road, whether it's with a dealer, our suppliers, face-to-face with owners or customers. Before I begin, if everybody just lowers their expectations, you're going to be a lot happier.
You're quite a humble man, I have to say, because there's no need to lower your expectations, except for that video quality. Unfortunately, when I translated it off the G3 into an MP4, it just came out kind of lousy, but everyone gets the point. You're a humble man. You're not here to try to sell yourself. You're here to help communicate. You're here to help bring us all together. And, there's just so much going on in the RV industry today. And it's a complicated industry, right? There's just so many things that can go wrong after the sale. Dealerships are working really hard to try to get those things done. Manufacturers are trying to solve those problems, re-engineering or redesigning, responding to warranty claims and all these things. But it takes a community, it takes a village, right, to really get together and open the trails of communication so everybody knows what everybody else needs. And if we as individuals in different departments or whatever it is, if we can get together, if I can give you what you need, perhaps you can give me what I need, and then inevitably the customer gets what they need, and it helps perpetuate the whole industry, right? It just
I just think, as you kind of said, we're all interwoven. What is the RV industry? It is an industry that works very, very hard to make a product that allows people to go and make thousands of memories with those that they love. So it's even far reaching beyond manufacturing and the dealership buying experience, etc. There's so many other people that contribute to our industry that's made it wonderful to be working in, just like campgrounds.
Absolutely.
Without campgrounds, where the hell would you take these things? So where's the reciprocity in giving back to them? They advocate and promote, hey, these have pull-through sites to accommodate for motorized units. They have amenities and activities to attract families to have those great experiences that more people, seek to continue and perpetuate our industry forward. So that's where I say my motivation, Bernie, has always been, and I've been consistent, even in my prior career. If you are already somewhere talking about yourself, your product, take a little extra time to talk about your dealer partners and everything that they do every single day, and do it without asking. Do it without an expected ROI. Because if you do that consistently for a long period of time, you're going to get noticed. But life is a marathon, and the more you do for others, right, it always comes back. And really, that's really what I try to do. I try to do it with our team. Hey, how can I do things to shine a light on your guys' hard work and effort? You guys do a lot of good things. I don't do anything here in customer service other than promote an amazing team that's already here that does a great job. And then talking about our dealers and what they're doing to innovate and improve fixed ops and do more for customers. Why not share that? I'm there.
Right. It's amazing because the way you're talking, a lot of people go to work and they show up for their 8 hours and they take their 15-minute 10 o'clock break and their 15-minute 3 o'clock break and a half-hour noontime break. And then they go home at 4:30 and that's it. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about how they could be making their customers, their fellow employees, their colleagues better, right? How they can make their lives better. And by giving the way you give, kind of wholeheartedly, and again, you're an inspiration to everybody who hears your messages, to just say, just give more and we'll all benefit from it. And, here's another one of your lovely sayings. You had another great one today. I didn't have a chance to load it up, but this is another beauty right here. Actions require less words to be said.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of give that homage to my father, may he rest in peace. He used to say to me all the time, because when you're young, you've got all these goals and wishes and, Dad, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he'd always say, don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you've done. Well, at 42 years old, there's a lot of people that are watching and they're looking to say, oh, we've seen this before. Moderately good looking, middle-aged guy, trying to not have a dad bod, puts gel in his hair. Let's see how long this lasts. And for 3 years, the one thing I take pride in, whether people like it or not, I try to be consistent and do more every single day because I'm competing against myself. And I want people to hold me accountable because the more people that I can earn their trust through my actions, what do I have to say?
Yeah. No, it's just amazing. The amount of energy you have and you get up every day and you're ready to do the right thing day after day after day. And, it takes a lot of energy, but that energy is derived from your heart, emotional heart, not just a beating heart, your heart to say, I have a passion to really make a difference. And, more people should live that passion. It's going to make our whole lives better. And, being a game changer is no small task. And I hate to just beat a dead horse here, but it's just lovely, the work that you're doing.
Well, and I want to recognize you for the things you're doing, stepping out to be bold. Again, time.
Takes a little time. Yep.
But
you know what?
Yeah.
2 years ago, you and Bob Zagami came to my store while I was working, and you're saying, we're taking you for lunch. And you said, Bernie, you got to get out there and do this stuff yourself. Took me a little while. I had a couple of bumps in the road. The COVID thing happened kind of really, I was busy selling RVs, right?
Yeah.
But now I got a little more time on my hands. The fire inside of me that you guys stoked back then a couple of years ago is alive and well. It's on fire, and it's because of people like you, like Bob, like other people out there, John DePietro and so many others, that have just inspired me to say, hey, if we work a little bit harder, if we work a little bit smarter, if we communicate more and we have compassion for each other, we can make this whole industry even bring it to a whole nother level. It's a beautiful industry as it is. Let's see if we can top that each and every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like I said, foundationally, it's rooted to, being in a good place in your heart, right? Everything that, we're doing, I tell people all the time, I invite you to learn more about our products. And if you have questions, feel free to ask, even if you don't choose us. Because if you really do care about other people, then that should be the focus. So everything that you go about doing, and you've been, a great mentor for me. I've learned a lot of things from you. We've had conversations off the record. Yeah. And any industry, any product, any service, any customer, they see it. Employees see it. That's how you generate influence, through good leadership, leading by doing. And so, like I said, surrounding yourself, iron sharpens iron. You've done a great job of that. You've brought me into the brotherhood with the fine folks on the East Coast, and I'm forever grateful. And now, like I said, I don't want to let you guys down, and I don't want to let down, people that have questions.
It's been a really good visit, and I can't thank you enough. We're going to have you on all the time. You know that, because this constant evolution going on at Heartland, constant evolution going on with you as a human being. Pretty soon you're going to turn into some sort of, flying energy source that, because you're going to just take it to a whole nother level of consciousness. We really appreciate you. And thank you for being a game changer. And thank you for being on RV Game Changer. Buddy, have a great day.
Thank you for being you, Bernie. I love you, and I'm glad that you're in my life, man. I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. We want to thank you for joining us today on RV Game Changer. It's been a magnificent show with our good friend, Willie Miller. And then, we have Bill Stell working the board. He's having a great time making sure he's putting everything at the right place at the right time. If you need to get a hold of me, this email address, rvgamechanger@gmail.com. You can follow me on Uncle Bernie, the RV guy, on YouTube. We got Bernie Cullerton on Facebook and Bernie Cullerton on Instagram. Check me out. Send your ideas, messages, good or bad. I want to hear from you. rvgamechanger@gmail.com. Stay tuned next time when we have guests like Mark and Julie Bennett on the show. We're going to have Ryan Beckman on the show later on. And we have all kinds of wonderful guests coming up. Thanks again, Willie, and have a great rest of your week.